It's strange how quickly a palace so grand, so commanding, can begin to feel like a prison. The more I adapted to its routines, the more I could hear the quiet clicks of its locks tightening around me. Every lesson, every bow, every guarded gaze reinforced the same unspoken truth. I didn't belong. And no amount of silks or smiles would change that. After I confessed to Marjorie, something shifted in me. Maybe it was relief. Or resolve. Maybe both. Because the moment I let the words fall from my lips, that I wasn't Princess Amelia, that I was Emma from Nelson's Hood, my lungs filled with air I hadn't realized I'd been missing. Marjorie didn't panic. She didn't report me. She became my ally. That same night, I knocked on a gardener's storage room door at the edge of the palace grounds. Samuel opened it without surprise. Of course he knew I'd come.
You ready?
He asked in that gruff, quiet voice. No, I admitted. But I'm going anyway. He gave a short nod.
Good.
The plan was simple on paper. In practice, terrifying. Marjorie had overheard the guard shift schedule. There was a small window, less than 10 minutes, when the hallway connecting the servants' quarters to the eastern garden would be mostly unguarded. Samuel knew of a hidden passage, one even the newer guards hadn't been briefed on. It had been used by servants during the reign of the previous king and had since been overgrown and forgotten. It was risky, but it was the only way. We chose a night when the moon was a sliver and the rain softened every footstep. Marjorie brought me a plain servant's dress and a dark cloak, simple, unadorned, just enough to blend in. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I almost looked like the Emma I used to be. Almost. But my eyes, they were sharper now, wiser, tired. I waited until the palace was hushed and dreaming. Slipping out of my chamber made my heart pound louder than my footsteps. Every candle flicker, every creaking door made me jump. But I moved quickly, head down, cloak pulled tight. Marjorie met me in the corridor by the linen room. She nodded once and handed me a small satchel.
Bread, water, a letter from your stepfather.
That nearly made me cry, but there wasn't time. Samuel was waiting in the shadows of the eastern wing. He didn't speak, just motioned for us to follow. We crept along the edge of the stone walls, past rose gardens and statues of past kings. The drizzle helped mask our footsteps, and the guards had already rotated as expected. We reached the hedge line, where Samuel pulled back a thick curtain of ivy to reveal a low, arched opening. Stone, narrow, and forgotten by most.
Servants used to bring in fresh vegetables through here.
He muttered.
Too much effort now, so they let it go.
He handed me a lantern, shielded from view.
You'll need this.
We ducked inside. The tunnel was damp and close. Roots dangled from above, and the walls were slick with moss. We moved slowly, careful with every step. The further we went, the more the palace disappeared behind us. I didn't know whether to feel relieved or terrified, maybe both. The tunnel opened into a small drainage culvert on the far side of the palace's outer wall. Vines had nearly sealed it shut, but Samuel hacked away just enough with a small knife to let us crawl through. I was the first to emerge, gasping as cool, fresh night air hit my face. When I looked up, I saw stars. Not the ones painted on the ceiling of the palace chapel. Real ones. And I realized I was free. But freedom wasn't just air and open land. It was danger, too. We stuck to the back roads, traveling by night and resting by day. Marjorie and Samuel moved like people who had lived beneath notice their whole lives. I learned from them quickly. We avoided main roads, avoided lights. We foraged for berries, slept under trees, shared whispered laughter by fireless camps. And slowly, I began to feel like Emma again. The real one. Not the princess, not the imposter, just me. But word of the palace traveled faster than our footsteps. In one of the villages we passed, we overheard news from a traveling merchant.
Did you hear? The princess is missing again.
The thought made my stomach twist. Were they searching for me? Would Sir Cedric be blamed? Would the king and queen feel betrayed? Or relieved? I couldn't bear to imagine their faces. Weeks passed before we saw the familiar path leading toward Nelson's hood. When I saw the towering oak tree near the village entrance, I felt a weight crumble inside me. My knees nearly gave out. "I'm home," I whispered. Samuel clapped a hand on my shoulder. Marjorie smiled through tears. We didn't enter with a fanfare. No carriage, no guards, no trumpets. Just the quiet sound of footsteps on cobblestone. But the village recognized me almost instantly. Whispers turned to gasps. Faces emerged from doorways, wide-eyed and disbelieving. And then, cheers. Not for a princess, not for royalty. For me, Emma, the blacksmith's stepdaughter, the girl who'd gone to the palace and returned not as someone new, but as herself. And when my stepfather ran toward me, his arms open, tears in his eyes, I ran straight into them like a child again. "I'm sorry," I cried against his chest.
For what?
He whispered.
For coming back?
That night, Nelson's hood lit its lamps brighter than ever before. They didn't need a throne or a crown to welcome me. They welcomed me with laughter, with fire, with food and warmth and arms that held no expectations. No lies, no silk, just love. But even as I settled into the rhythm of home, I knew the story wasn't finished. Because far away, in a palace now filled with questions, the world still believed the princess had returned. And the truth had only just begun to unravel.